Hello, and welcome to painting. My name is Jessie Rebik, and this is the first in a series of several videos that will serve as supplemental instruction to provide you a resource that you can access outside of the classroom. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the materials that are needed throughout the semester, and I will talk about what they are and why they are needed. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is an apron or an overshirt. Okay, so I have mine on right now. You will need something that will protect your clothing from paint and the materials that you will often find in an art studio. You will need a container or an art box to hold your materials in. Okay, so this is mine. However, it doesn't have to be a specifically any specific brand of art box. Anything from a tackle box to a makeup holder to even a cardboard box will work, as long as it's big enough that it will hold your materials. You will need a viewfinder. Okay, so viewfinders can be store-bought, such as this one, or you can make your own. Okay, so you don't have to spend money on it. However, it is critical that you have one. The viewfinder will help you to determine your composition, and it is very crucial to successful paintings. You will need a sketchbook. Okay, so any brand, any style is fine. It can be hardbound, it can be, paperback, it can be wire bound, it can, be any size and shape, as long as it's small enough to easily fit in your backpack and be transportable, and big enough to effectively make sketches and do small drawings. You will need drawing pencils, erasers, just basic drawing tools. Okay, there's no specific brand or kinds that you need, as long as you'll be able to do sketches and drawings in the class. You will need paint. Okay, so this is a painting class. We will be working with oil paint, and so you'll need a variety of different colors. And so I'm going to show you just the minimum that you're going to need. These are the necessary colors to get started. And as the semester progresses, you may decide to, add to your collection of colors. I'm sure as your familiarity with color and color relationships expand, you'll want to try more and have more diversity in your colors. However, to get started, you will need titanium white, raw umber, okay, not to be confused with burnt umber. You will need Alizarin Crimson. Okay, this is kind of a deep, cool red. You will need a Cadmium Red. Okay, that's a warmer and more vibrant red. You will need a ultramarine blue. Okay, you'll need a cobalt blue, which actually I don't have on me right now. You'll need a lemon yellow or a cadmium yellow light. Okay, so this is a cool yellow, as well as a cadmium yellow medium. Okay, which is a warmer yellow. Okay, so you've noticed that there are two colors of red, blue, and yellow. We will discuss why that is and how we will use them later on in the semester. In addition to oil paint, you will need a medium, which is the material you will use to mix with the paint. Okay, there's several different possibilities for this. Okay, so we've got Liquin. This is linseed oil. Okay, there's also walnut oil, safflower oil. There's many, many different kinds of mediums that you can mix with your paint. Linseed oil is probably the most common. It's all natural. It's just the oil from linseeds. And it is the safer version of between like Liquin and linseed oil. Linseed oil dries slowly and it's very kind of thin and watery, so it's a little harder to control. Okay, Liquin, which is a Winsor Newton product, is chemically produced. It's much less safe, it's toxic, it smells a lot stronger. And why you would use this, why you would take those risks, is because it dries much faster and the consistency of it is a lot more, it's more viscous, so it's a little easier to control on your palette. Okay, so either one of these will be fine. If you are far more health conscious, then the linseed oil might be your best bet. And if you know that you're going to be, trying to make the paintings fast and hoping that they will dry in a certain amount of time, then Liquin is a good choice as well. You will need brush cleaner. Okay, this comes in the form of different mineral spirits. So terpenoid is a common product that students purchase. Okay. Gamblin Gamsol is a slightly pricier but less toxic version. It's just a little more high end. And either one of those will do the job. You will put your mineral spirits into a cleaning jar. Okay, and the cleaning jars look like this. You'll find cleaning jars in different sort of varieties. I would strongly recommend getting the cleaning jar that has a coil in the center. Okay, some of them have like sponges at the bottom, some of them have like a metal screen. And the coil, let's see if I can show you this. The coil is much better at maintaining the quality of the brushes. Okay, so that's what I would recommend, although the others will also work if that's the only thing you can find. You will need a palette. Okay, that's what you're going to use to put your paint on while you're painting. And again, these come in many different versions. You can buy paper palettes, which is just a pad of paper that has some non-absorbent, kind of like high-end wax paper, just several sheets of it. Okay, this is very easy because you can just tear it out and throw it away when you're done with the painting. You can also get the more sustainable version, which is just a normal palette that you use over and over and over again. Okay, so this one is just primed wood. You can find them in clear acrylic, you can find them in raw wood, you can find them in, any kind of material that is non-absorbent. As you can see, this has been used. I've scraped the paint off it, and I will continue to do that and reuse it. Okay, but either palette would be fine. You will need paper towels or rags. And these should be, if you choose to buy the paper towels, they should be a high quality brand. Okay, I think these are Viva, which are close to fabric. They're very thick and very absorbent. And so you don't want to get cheap paper towels that won't absorb the mediums very well. Okay, you can also just get a rag, tear up a t-shirt or an old towel or something like that. That would be totally fine. You will need brush soap. And what I have on hand is just this tiny little personal little soap container, which works just fine. This is the Masters brand. It comes in lots of different sizes of tubs. You can get, huge tubs for the classroom or these little personal transportable tubs. A cheaper version, if you're on a tight budget, is anything as simple as dish soap. Okay, so as long as it will cut through oil, then it will clean the brushes thoroughly. The Masters brand has some conditioning oils in the soap as well, so it just keeps the brush bristles in better shape. That's why I would recommend that, but if you can't do that, then dish soap will work fine. You will need a variety of brushes. And as you can see, I have a collection here that I've sort of developed over the years. And I've pulled out just a couple here to show you what you should start with. Brushes come in a wide variety of shapes, of sizes, of softness. For this class, for an introductory painting class, you will need a variety of round and flat brushes. Okay, so round brushes are just what it sounds like. They are shaped kind of in a round cylindrical formation, whereas flat brushes the bristles are pushed flat and they are flat. They're rectangular. I've got sizes here anywhere from about 1 inch to these much smaller ones. And you can get a lot bigger. Okay, I don't know if you know that you're going to want to work large, you might want to get some even larger still. Okay, this one's a couple inches in width. It's a good idea, this one might be a little hard to see, to have a detail brush as well. Okay, and a detail brush is a brush that's super tiny. Okay, it's just very, very thin with just a few bristles. And that will allow you to make very small marks and focus on detail. Okay, not everybody likes to paint like that, but if you know that that's kind of something that you'd be interested in, then a detail brush will make your life a lot easier. When you're looking for brushes, make sure that they are either specifically for oil paint or for oil and acrylic. Okay, you never want to get watercolor brushes. Watercolor brushes will basically fall apart when you're trying to paint. And that can be really disappointing, both in just that it's a waste of money, as well as, it can really affect the quality of your painting. And so as you're getting started, be sure that you're conscious of what kinds of brushes you're getting and what their purpose, what their initial purpose is. You will need some palette knives. Okay, so again, I have kind of a collection of shapes and sizes just to kind of show you a range that they come in. You really probably for this class will only need 1 or 2. And these are some pretty effective sizes. I personally prefer this kind of diamond or trowel shape. That doesn't mean that you need to get that as much as that's just what I find the most effective. You will find palette knives either in metal or plastic. Plastic are much cheaper. However, they're also a lot lower quality. And in my experience, students who have bought plastic palette knives tend to get disappointed when they break. The metal palette knives don't break, at least not under normal wear and tear. So I do recommend that you get the metal. Just because they'll last longer, they're easier to use, they're easier to control, and they won't break on you. You will potentially need a wipeout tool. Okay, so, or what I call a paint eraser. And that's basically what it is. It allows you to kind of scrape the paint cleanly off of your canvas. This is used in oil painting, but it's also a ceramic tool. And so a lot of times you will find this tool, it's got these rubber pointy shaped ends on either side. And a lot of times you'll find it in the ceramic aisle of an art store instead of a painting aisle. Okay, hopefully it's in both, but if you can't find it in painting, it'll be in ceramics. You will need prepared canvases, and these also come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Okay, so as you can see, they are stapled either on the side or on the back. This one is still wrapped in plastic because that's often what you're going to find in an art store. This particular size is great for this class, although anything a little bigger, a little smaller, rectangular will work just fine as well. Okay, so this is about 12 by 12 feet. Roughly the size that will work to get started. You might also later, or if you already have the ability, you can make your own canvas. Okay, so this is one that I stretched several years ago, and it's just kind of been sitting in storage. It's unprimed, so it looks a little bit less finished than the store-bought one, but you can make your own, okay, and you can prime your own. And that is a cheaper way to make canvases and have canvases, as well as just a more controlling way, so you get to be more selective about the size and the shapes that you want. You will need canvas paper. Okay, so this is different than the prepared canvases. Okay, this is a pad of paper that has canvas as the paper, primed canvas as the paper. They come in, this is the smallest size I've ever seen them, an 8 by 10, but they come in larger sizes as well. They come in different brands. It is really crucial that you have this for the class. So if you don't want to spend the money on a pad of canvas paper, you can also make your own sort of canvas-like paper. You can prime cardboard or heavy like watercolor paper. So you can make your own, but you are going to need something that you can use as sort of experiments, paint sketches, things that are not as sort of finished as you will put on your prepared canvases. The next materials that I will discuss are not required, however, tend to be useful in a painting class. The first is masking tape or painter's tape. You'll use this to potentially mask off portions of your canvas to create really straight and solid edges of shapes in your paintings, as well as to mark the floor where your easel will be standing. Okay, after, sometimes after painting sessions, the easels get moved around and the masking tape can help you to know where the original position was. You will potentially need a T-square or a ruler, okay, any kind of straight edge device that will help you to draw straight lines. That will be very, very useful. Again, not required, but it will save time in the long run if you have it. You might need some of these little mini containers. Okay, these are called buddy cups, and I got mine at Hobby Lobby. And they're just these little plastic containers that can hold colors that you've pre-mixed. They also can be useful if you're using linseed oil. They can hold the medium while you're painting, so you don't have to, dip your brush in the large jar of linseed oil. An alternative to that, if you don't want to spend the money on the little cups, are just small containers. These are glass jars. These are old baby food jars. As you can see, there's paint in them that have been stored in them. But that would be a cheaper and, again, more sustainable way to go. Newsprint is a kind of cheap paper. Okay, it's kind of brown, it's very lightweight. And this can be useful to do sketches on. We will talk about how to prepare your canvas and how to do preparatory sketches, and newsprint can help with that. Okay, again, it's not crucial that you have it, but it might save time in the long run. And lastly, finally, not required, but I have found this to be absolutely necessary in my painting practice. This is called KissOff, and this is a kind of a gritty stain remover. And it has kind of a piney smell, and it is the best thing for getting paint out of clothes. Okay, so even with the overshirt, even with all the precautions you're going to take, it's very likely that you will accidentally get paint on your clothes at some point in the semester. And when that happens, if you have this, I can almost guarantee, if you apply it immediately, that your clothes will come out clean. So it's worth, I think it's worth the price, just to know that I can keep my clothes in okay condition. But again, it's not required. All right, so that concludes the material introduction and the first video for this course. Thank you.